the rappers, you see them flashing lights. We about to take flight. I've been waiting on this moment my entire life. We about to take flight.
For a second time in 5 days, our ISC Sports Network cameras are at St. Vincent Field to follow James Jenkins' men's soccer team from Marian University as they take on Mount Vernon Nazarene in the penultimate game of the regular season. That's a fancy way of saying next to last. Final home game for Marian, which means it's senior night, but a win tonight would go a long way in getting another home game in the upcoming Crossroads League tournament. As the backdrop, we welcome you to the near northwest side of Indianapolis on a perfect late October evening. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hodder with you. It's Marian University Soccer here on the ISC Sports Network. Brad, you saw this team for the first time 4 days ago, a 1-0 victory. A late goal by freshman Donovan Doolittle gave Marian all 3 points against St. Francis on Saturday night. What impressed you about your buddy Jenks' team 4 nights ago?
He's an attacking player, attacking-minded player. I was really impressed with the way that they defended. Whenever that ball was in and around the top of the 18, they were running players directly at it through the exact correct angle, really denying a lot of great goal-scoring opportunities simply by the way they defended. And, again, this guy's, he spent his whole life trying to figure out ways to dismantle defenses, so to put one together that was that impressive is a tip of the hat to the young lad.
In Jenks' first year, his team is 10-3-2, but the numbers that matter most is what happens in Crossroads League play. This is the 8th of 9 games. Marian will play at Huntington to wrap up the regular season on Saturday night. Marian is 4-3 in league play. They are currently tied for 4th, but they own the tiebreaker with Spring Arbor, a team whom which they beat in Southern Michigan when they played there a few weeks ago. Marian knows they are in the league tournament. Marian knows if they win out, they will do no worse than 4th, which means they at least get their first conference tournament matchup at home. 8 of the 10 teams in the Crossroads League make the postseason. All matches are at home. Top 4, top 2, top seed, etc. in terms of earning multiple home games. For the Cougars of Mount Vernon Nazarene, they are fighting to make sure they are in the tournament. They are currently tied for 7th, so a win would go a long way for them. Frankly, a road point would be a big deal They are 2-5 coming in to this match. We'll talk more about the Cougars as the match goes along. Let's talk a couple of things for Marian. First of all, it is senior night. You have been through that as a player. You have been through that as a coach. How does that change the equation for Coach Jenkins' squad tonight?
There's always something a little bit magical about senior night. I always wrestled as a coach with, if we are entering this match and it's competitive, like right now, the tournament seeding has an impact on this game. So how much do you say, okay, we're going to vary our lineup? And every time that I've deferred to say, I'm going emotional tonight, and I'm going to reward the guys that have been here for 4 years. They've stepped up in some magical moment to put an exclamation point on senior night.
Marian is tweaking their lineup slightly, so they're going to get some seniors maybe that have not been in the rotation as much this year are going to get some time. Now, also this for Marian, too. Juan Torres was named the league's defender of the week. He has played every minute of every match so far this year. He is out tonight due to a violation of team rules. So the young man you see wearing the gloves there to the right of your screen is Alvaro Rueda. He is a transfer from Hannibal LaGrange. He has played 22 matches over the course of his career, but he has not played this season. It's his senior night, and he's starting between the posts. What's going through his mind right now?
Oh, he's excited. The adrenaline's pumping. I don't care how many times you've done this. Whether you've been in, 20 years and you've got, 500 games under your belt, or, you're in your 23rd game as a college player. The heart beats a little bit different before a match. So he's going to be a little bit wired tonight.
Marian has known they've had that guy between the posts kind of anchoring them all season long. Perhaps a bit of a different feel. They will play on nonetheless. So Marian knows they are in the conference tournament. They'd like to have a game at home. A win tonight would go a long way in having that happen. We'll take this quick timeout. When we come back, opening kickoff from St. Vincent Field as you're watching Marian University men's soccer here on the ISC Sports Network.
Marian University is like a home to me.
Campus is where I made friends that I know will last a lifetime.
Academics, sports, or arts, Marian's got something for you.
Plus, downtown Indy is just 10 minutes away from campus.
I'm a huge sports fan. Living in Indy, I've got the Knights, the Colts, and the Pacers.
Applying was so fast and easy.
I went to Marian for the education, but what I took away was the experience.
Marian University offers an exceptional education and an unforgettable experience. Apply today for full scholarship consideration at marian.edu.
Meet Zach. Day and night, rain or shine, even just out for a spin, Zach gets around. But we know Zach, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he's been saving up to trade up. IMCU is here to help Zach and you drive your dream. Lock in your rate with pre-approval. It's fast, free, and makes buying the car of your dreams easier. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Some say you have to choose between reaching for Mars or harnessing more energy from a star. Going faster than the speed of sound versus bringing clean water from out of the ground. We say, why not both? The choice then is Marian University's Whitaker School of Engineering. Discover success with purpose. Learn more at marian.edu/engineering.
Teams exchanging handshakes before, again, tonight's round 8 of matches in conference play. Marian will finish at Huntington on Saturday night. And again, their hope is that they'll be able to see at least this field one more time. So, one thing that we will try to do tonight, 2 other matches are kicking off about now. Bethel and Taylor, that's a meeting of the top and bottom of the table in the Crossroads League. Spring Arbor and St. Francis, that's a match that Marian will have their eyes on because Spring Arbor again currently tied with Marian for 4th in the league. That is just kicking off. Huntington at Indiana Wesleyan. Indiana Wesleyan, one of the 3 teams above Marian in the standings. That is scoreless up in Marian, Indiana. That is 28 minutes in. Grace and Goshen play this evening. That match does not kick off until 8 o'clock. Final thoughts, Brad, before this one goes live.
This time of year is always pretty cool. You're excited to play, you're excited to get the points, you're excited to cement your place on the table, but you always have an eye on everything you just said. You are uniquely tuned in at this time of year on what everybody else is doing, and you're doing one of the great things for college kids. You're doing all this math in your head. Okay, if they draw and we win and they lose, where does that put us in the final week?
So with that, we are underway. Marian, of course, the gold-topped kits this evening. Mount Vernon Nazarene primarily in blue. From a weather standpoint, temperatures in the either upper 60s or low 70s, which obviously is rare for October the 25th. There's some rain in the forecast later this week. We felt a few sprinkles earlier, but in conditions absolutely perfect. A light breeze, but frankly not enough to make a difference in terms of what direction you were going on the pitch. That made a difference. That little shoulder into the back of the Mount Vernon Nazarene player. First whistle of this match goes against Marian at University.
This is one of the things, too, that you want to stay away from as the home team is, restarts and transition. It's such an equalizer. So, Mount Vernon's come in 7-9, not quite having the same kind of a season as Marian. They're on the road. You got a couple things that are slanted in your favor. Senior night for Marian. The last thing you want to do is try and get into that game that gives them, a little bit of hope, a little bit of optimism.
Foul is against Kelton Hooker of Marian. He and his brother Cameron went through the senior night festivities earlier. Those two brothers, both from the state of Colorado, and made their way to Marian. Throw in coming here for the Knights.
That was an incredible one-touch ball by Yoshi to send that ball down the line and create this attacking opportunity for Marian.
Yoshi Takeshi, the player that Brad has given Brazilian status to in terms of calling him by just his first name only, even though he is originally from Japan. It's been a key piece of the attack for Marian this year. This is Brandon Santos wearing number 19, throw-in coming for the Knights. Brandon, a senior in his second year in the program. He transferred from one of the few junior college programs in the state of Indiana, that being Ancilla College, which is part of Marian University. So Brandon getting some extra on this senior night. Tommy Cooper is in that mix as well, wearing number 28. And again, I think the prevailing thought from James Jenkins is, hey, we're going to give our seniors some run to start the match. We'll kind of see how it's going 8 or 10 minutes in and potentially analyze again from that point in time.
As a coach, you never want to play with your lineup for any reason other than, an injury or suspension, something that's kind of out of your control. But there is also this, hey, these guys have been with me for 4 years. And they're in the program for 4 years because they've just been working so hard, buying into everything, that there's got to be some kind of a reward. So it's cool in those moments when you can do something like this.
Alvaro Rueda, the transfer from Hannibal LaGrange, that's NAIA in the state of Missouri. Taken away at the back by Mount Vernon Nazarene. Marian quickly gets several behind the ball. Keon Boney, the player that was hanging out at the top of the 18. He is the leading goal-scoring threat for the Cougars. He has 9 of those on the season. One of a pair of players that hails from Trinidad and Tobago on this Mount Vernon Nazarene roster. Brad and I have known just a few quality players from TNT over the years that have applied their craft for the Indy 11 here locally. The team has completed their 10th season, 6th in the USL Championship. Transition opportunity here for Marian. 6 behind the ball for Mount Vernon Nazarene. MVNU, one of the 2 schools from outside of the state of Indiana as part of the Crossroads League. Spring Arbor is the other, and they are, just like Spring Arbor, amongst the 3 schools that have Cougars as their nickname here in the Crossroads League.
Is there a morsel of trivia that eludes you?
No, just like food, no.
Absolutely amazing. Ball
taken away by Mount Vernon Nazarene, but the pass intended for Keon Boney just a bit behind him. Dante Cooper, the other native of TNT that plays for this Mount Vernon Nazarene program. They are represented by players from the Netherlands, Brazil, Scotland, Mexico, Germany, and 5 native Hoosiers from the state of Indiana that also play for this Mount Vernon Nazarene squad. And that is not surprising because their head coach is Zach Gansberg himself, who was a former player and assistant coach at Bethel. He is a native of the South Bend area.
And the tough part in Ohio is there are so many small schools that kids can choose from. It's so competitive. You know, you've got the OAC, you got the NCAC, you got NAIA, you got junior college. There are so many options out there that, you know, if you've got some roots in Indiana and as strong as soccer is in this state, it's a great place for an Ohio school to come in and dip your toes in the pool and see what you can come home with.
Long distance ball. Ramirez the target for Marian. Ryan Walters, left back for the Cougars, the target. The man in net for Vernon Nazarene, Bram Stolp.
He played that first ball out one touch, and you start thinking, okay, did he play that one touch because he's not comfortable with the ball at his feet and he just needed to get it off of him? And then you look at the next ball that he just sort of calmly lifts into a midfielder about 30 yards up the field, and you say, oh, he's got a little game going with his feet.
Both these teams have plenty of incentive to go for the full 3 points tonight. It is still possible if Marian wins out that they could move up a seed line or two in the league table. Ball to open space that eventually Marian will track down. What's unique about the three teams that are above the Knights is that none of them have lost a league match, but there are 6 draws amongst those 3 teams between Bethel, Grace, and Indiana Wesleyan. Marian, that's whom their 3 losses have been to in league play, is those 3 squads. Believe that ball was going to be cut back by Aaron Jolly. Just could not find a teammate. Already Marian has 3 players to the midfield stripe. So they will start to return to what is their normal alignment some 7.5 minutes in. Amongst those players waiting to return, Romeric Vernon, Sebastian Gonzalez, who we did not see on Saturday night. He is their leading goal scorer with 8 goals scored on the season. And Miguel Luna, who played very well late in the match, and frankly, I like to see Coach Jenkins rewarding him with some additional playing time in tonight's match.
Great little build-up down the left flank.
Those players await Youssef El Masousi to wave them aboard. Had a great chance to catch up with Tony DeLois, one of our assistant referees, before tonight's match. You've known him for just a few years.
Boy, I think it's been 25 to 30. I've been yelling at him.
It's amazing how much better the officiating gets when you're no longer coaching, isn't it?
No, he actually was an official that I just had unbelievable respect for.
Opportunity here for Marian. Hooker knocks it forward, but he chose the wrong angle. Flags up, doesn't matter, flags up. If he plays that ball to Ramirez, right, he's on. He chooses the other option that wasn't. Beautiful turn, but unfortunately took the wrong turn in Albuquerque, like a famous rabbit would say.
There are times you get to the top of the box and you got such tunnel vision on how do I get the ball forward, right, that sometimes you just have the blinders on to these great runs that are coming off your shoulders. Good build. You love it when the center back is able to settle that ball. Maybe got a little bit of light pressure on him, but then you've got your number 6 coming back, or you've got a player in the midfield that's standing all alone on an island, gives you this great relief. Okay, we're going to be able to break a line here very, very easily, advance the ball 20, 30 yards.
Well, just stayed in the field of play. Right now, Mount Vernon Nazarene, more so than Marian, just kind of hitting balls to spaces, hoping a teammate is there instead of kind of playing defeat. Fourth time our cameras have been here for Marian soccer, twice for the women and twice for the men during the regular season. We'll be back for any and all conference tournament matches. Starting November the 4th, we have been spoiled in seeing so many rounds of both the conference tournament and the NAI regionals for the Marian women. That may not be the case this year. I think they're still hopeful they're going to get a regional berth, but hosting has probably, unfortunately, gone by the wayside for Justin Sullivan's team, which is trying to figure out how to replace some of the best players in program history, namely Aaron Alexak, but also how to somehow deal with kind of a mash unit given the injuries they have suffered during the course of the season.
Great ball.
Opportunity here. Good Balkan ball played across and just couldn't find his teammate. Nathan Parker would like to have that one back. That first touch kind of went away from him. Throw in coming here for the Knights, and here come the aforementioned players that will enter here for Marian University.
Yeah, great vision and creativity from Jolly to create that. The moment right before when you had an extended stretch of possession across the back line from the Knights, don't discount how often they utilized the goalkeeper. Even though it's under no pressure, there's something about being a keeper. You got to get your first touch on the ball. You got to get your first, even if it's a light ball that just floats into your hands, you got to get that first touch to know you're into the game. And it's the same thing with your feet. When your team has confidence and they're knocking it back and you're getting those touches, it just makes you feel a little bit more comfortable. Yeah, I got my feet underneath me tonight pretty well. And if that touch goes awry, you know, okay, I probably not better mess with that ball if the pressure or a player is chasing it down.
Bit of a casual giveaway by Marian. Doesn't come back to hurt him. In fact, Ramirez now will play that ball to the midfield, but doesn't find a teammate on that pass either. So Vernon, Gonzalez, and Luna all return. And Gonzalez looks like a man that didn't get to play on Saturday because he is buzzing around the ball like bees at Brad's farm. Wants it right back as well.
Oh, and they had it. If that ball didn't float, then he could have driven it into that space. He had him.
Ball played forward, but couldn't find a teammate, and a goal kick coming here for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Tonight's match on the ISC Sports Network, presented in part by AAA Roofing. When it rains, it pours, so trust the pros at AAA Roofing. That's what we call. Special thanks, AAA Roofing, for their support of Marian Athletics. And alongside Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hodder with you. And for our audience watching from Ohio or other parts of the globe, but watching more from the Mount Vernon Nazarene perspective, my partner just wrapped up a college coaching career of nearly 30 years between his days at Rose-Hulman and DePaul University. These days works for the Indy 11 in the USL Championship as their Director of Marketing and Club Growth. Good pressure at the back here by Mount Vernon Nazarene.
Yeah, that was nice. They allowed that ball to come in. They realized they could reach it on his touch and immediately squeeze the space.
Yoshi was the target there for Marian. Opportunity here for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Again, Keon Boney the target. Marian got to it first. Sam Hershey, the player that was flying down the left flank. The ball at his feet for the Cougars to try to set up that opportunity. But right now, not much, if any, difference in between these two teams here in the early stages of this one.
But in this first 14 minutes, the player that has put his stamp on this game is Jolly. He has done some pretty creative things down this side, not just with his ability on the ball, his runs off the ball.
Flag will go up. Yep. Flag's up. And while the player may not be happy about that, we were not far off of that, and that was a relatively easy call to make. Player was a yard or two offside.
Oh, you raised your hand before the flag went up. You were on it. You're locked in, dialed in today. Making the calls in the booth and on the field.
You and I have seen just a few matches together over the last 10 years at this point. Restart coming from midfield for the Knights. Again, right now, if the conference tournament were to start tonight, Marian would be the 4 seed. Mount Vernon Nazarene would be the 8. What it does show you is there's not exactly all that much difference, I think, between a lot of the teams in this league.
Yeah, when you say that, are you factoring in tonight where we're at right now with each team pulling a point?
The result?
Yeah.
I'm not sure my brain is that specific. Good recovery run here by Marian. And Boney applying pressure. It will be a throw-in coming from Mount Vernon Nazarene.
When he locks in, when he sees that opportunity to press or chase down a ball or make it difficult for a defender, he finds that next gear.
Regardless of the level, you score 9 goals at this point of the season. You kind of have just that smell for goal. By the way, there is one score to report to elsewhere in the league. Indiana Wesleyan has taken a late first half lead. They lead Huntington 1-0. Rueda didn't get to it cleanly, but did just enough. Now his teammates help him clean it up just a bit further. This one walked all the way to the corner flag, and that'll be a corner kick coming. So first corner of the match belongs to Mount Vernon Nazarene. 60 minutes in, and taking a look at the scores from elsewhere around the league. As per usual, our production crew is on top of it.
Look at that, yeah. So that was a great boxed ball coming out in traffic. You know you're going to get hit. You know you're not going to be able to reach it. So a lot of goalkeepers, especially when you've been, on the bench all season, that are going to try and stay on their line in that scenario.
Good looking bending ball here, but never truly found a target. By the way, our production crew tonight, thank you to Jordan Shue, Sean Walker, Vince Morellas, Rob Lynch, and Eldon Wheeler. Making sure our signal gets to you wherever you might be watching, whether it's on ISC TV, ISCSportsNetwork.com, our Twitter, our YouTube, Twitch, etc. Thanks for joining us tonight. Good looking ball here. Rueda had it lined up the entire time.
Yeah, tough read for Rueda because you're wondering, is somebody going to get a little touch on that ball? I think you got Boney coming in right before with the defender on his back. All it takes is just a little misdirection and your read is off.
Just as much of this match has been played in the Mount Vernon Nazarene half as it has been in the Marian half of things. Ramirez a little too eager on that challenge. I mentioned the fact that Gonzalez returned to the lineup tonight. 8 goals to pace Marian. No other Marian player has more than 3 on the season. Marian has outscored their opponents by a 2-to-1 ratio, 34 goals for, 17 against on the season. Marian got a result against every non-conference team they played, including a kind of a fill-in match they had last Tuesday, a victory against Georgetown of Kentucky. Hooker with 2 targets in front, but could never settle that ball at his feet. There's Keon Boney.
That's ambitious to wind up from about 35 yards out, but if you got 9 goals,
that's right.
I'm sure some of them have come from that distance. That's a good find. This is where Marian needs to kind of execute a little bit better. That build, it's just off. It's a pass or 2, and then it's a turnover. Need to have a little bit more connectivity, and sometimes that's not just the pass to the correct foot at the correct weight. Sometimes it's the runs off the ball. We got to get into the supporting channel, so when a player gets the ball and they're starting to get squeezed pressure-wise, they've got 2 to 3 options that they can see and they can deliver it to.
Good safety valve find there by Mount Vernon Nazarene. At the edge of the 18, hand was used to help bring that one down, so Marian will have the possession. And let's go back to again the match that we just saw, the victory against St. Francis. Frankly, Marian played their better soccer in the first half. They scored in the second. You wouldn't say it was against the run of play, but there weren't that many chances in half number 2. Marian just happened to convert the one that they had. Well done by Sebastian Gonzalez, but once again it's Sam Hershey that gets in the way. Moment here for Mount Vernon Nazarene at the edge of the 18. Good job by the defender to walk into the box and then take it away.
And you've referenced it. You and I have done this for 10 years together. You know how excited I get when your leading scorer is making a run back into the 18 to be a help defender and provide a double team opportunity.
Perfectly weighted ball. Luna. Ramirez. Good lead here. This is the best build for Marian so far in the match. Stolp has not had to make a save. All of a sudden, he has to pounce on one here. That ball did not settle at the feet of the Marian player in which they had hoped. That was Hooker that could not latch on to it.
Yeah, and I think if that ball redirects in front of Hooker and he's able to run onto it, that probably gets called as a PK because it's a legitimate opportunity. But that one was his back foot, so in reaching back, he helped facilitate the contact.
Kyle Alb, one of the center backs from Marian, able to find a teammate and play that across. Sam Gooden, his center back partner at this stage of the match. Ask for a handball, won't get it. Now Vernon Nazarene kind of takes a moment to reorganize after their longest stretch of defending for this match. Connectivity starting to pick up here for the Knights.
Right, and it's coming off that ball into the nines up top, and then the underneath ball. Early on, you got your 9 taking the ball, they're getting that first touch, and then they're walking it all the way back into the midfield and then knocking it back to the back line. Now you're out of position for any kind of build after that. Here you're seeing the ball coming to the feet of the 9s. You got your 10s tucking in underneath and a little bit of interplay there, and that's where they've been able to sustain the possession at this level.
That sort of banter, part of the Indy 11 Coaches Symposium coming up in the middle of February at Grand Park. Indy11.com. We'll have more information at some point in time.
Look at you.
I pay attention every once in a while. Marian has a couple of players awaiting to enter the match when given the opportunity. First things first, here's a potential look from Mount Vernon Nazarene. Again, great hustle by Marian, but it will be a corner.
That was a great ball. You're playing it right on the edge of the edge defender for Boney, just trying to see if you can slide it past and allow him to use his pace inside the 18.
Seifert, Delval about to enter when given the opportunity. We saw a little bit of Seifert in the match on Saturday. Not so much of Delval, the freshman from Puebla, Mexico, which has been a fertile recruiting ground for Marian over the last few years.
It's a good ball.
Left foot and goes all the way past Rueda. Exactly where he needed to be. Just kind of watch that one go right by that far post.
Yeah, great ball. Right after delivering the corner, pops out, stays wide to open up a channel for himself. They deliver it to him. It is a great serve through the 18 right to the back post. Gives a lot of opportunities for slashing runners to maybe get a piece of it and see if they can slide one by Rueda.
Rueda's been solid, but again, to be blunt, neither keeper's had to do much so far in this game. Rueda has one save. Stolp is yet to have one. Now a foul called against Marian, allow Mount Vernon Nazarene to throw a few more numbers forward here, just past the midway marker of half number 1. It is Walters that will stand over this one. Olsen and Rueda all over it.
A nice ball. I like a ball driven in like that as opposed to one that's floated, because all it is, it's just a guy just needs to nick it. Changes everything, but great read coming off his line, solid hands.
Good ball here. Player was onside, just a little too much on it, but that's the right look for Marian. Seifert was the target on that play. Seifert does have 2 goals on the season. This is his 13th match out of a possible 16 for the Knights on the year. Good hustle back by Tenorio. Tenorio, the guy that does all the little things for Marian. Does have 3 goals on the season. One of those from the spot. But Tenorio, that kind of definition of a holding midfielder for Coach Jenkins' squad. Delval. Space opens for him, but
nice opportunity to switch fields right there.
Very compact 4-4-2 being shown here by Mount Vernon Nazarene. Right idea, just a little too much weight on the pass, and that'll be a goal kick coming for Mount Vernon. Tonight's match is presented in part by Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi and some friends and get in the game. Pepsi, proud partner of the Marian University Knights. Stolp put under pressure.
I like that direct ball into Jolly's feet because you had Alb stepping up to win a ball. So now you've got your center back on that side already out of position. Quickly play it into Jolly, see if he can get through the edge.
Throw-in coming for the Knights. This is a match that, frankly, has lived in the midfield so far. 3 shots Mount Vernon Nazarene. Only one of those have landed on target. Cougars have had 2 corners so far. Marian, no shots, no corners at this point.
Good find.
Handball. You're right, the space was there and player was onside. Just wrong first touch inside of the 18. Gonzalez couldn't wait the ball he wanted to. Here's an opportunity, but it quickly goes away.
This is one of those games that you approach as a coach. You got a little bit of fear in you at this point because the team's below you on the table. They're 7-9. You just came off an emotional win. You're in great position. This is one of those ones that you just fear that your players might take for granted, might come off with, without the foot hitting that pedal all the way down. And you look at the energy and the connectivity that we saw on Saturday night, and it's not quite there just yet. So this may be one of those ones, if it doesn't tweak here in the next 15 minutes, it might be an elevated tone in the locker room.
Gonzalez making the run, just pulled up, and he's saying, hey, put that ball more towards the corner flag, was Gonzalez.
And you look at the last 3 balls that Marian has had on the edge of the attacking third. Every one of them has been a straight ball that has run too far for the player. Need to look at a little bit more angle play, especially on turf. That ball runs a little bit more, but you're used to it. You know that. This is your home field. So instead of just always that straight ball, look for angles. Look at how you can have a little bit more space and a little bit more deception in the kind of ball you play.
Great cutback opportunity here. Perfect ball here. Takeshi looking back post, looking for Gonzalez. One to settle, tries to lift it up, right idea, good recovery by the defender. Very well played. That was Walters that got back there.
And you look at that opportunity, dangerous opportunity, comes off of a great angled ball through the midfield and then another angled ball back into the 18.
Great tackle and find. Seifert the target. Just put it a bit too high for him, but Yoshi Takeshi with the ability to create some opportunities here for the Knights. throw in coming. Marian, again on the senior night, has made a handful of subs already. Vernon Nazarene has not. They do have a player that appears ready to enter the fray when given the opportunity.
Couple good battles there in that corner. That's some weight room soccer right there.
That slide by Mount Vernon Nazarene is going to give them a look here. They try the hit from distance. Wow. Goes up and over the bar and misses a little bit wide right. That was a very quick change from defense to offense for Mount Vernon Nazarene, but could not take advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah, wasted moment. I mean, it's a 3-on-1. You got your leading scorer off your left shoulder, and you're going to pull the trigger from 25.
You just get the feeling you're not sure how many moments like that there are going to be in this match. Seifert. Luna.
There you go. Yep. There it is. It's just got to be a little bit quicker. You give Mount Vernon too much time, and they're going to be able to shift over and take away the space that you just manipulated.
Dante Cooper, the player that's awaiting to enter the match for Mount Vernon Nazarene.
That's well handled. Tough ball, right to the chest. There's another straight ball.
Yep. Much to the frustration of Seifert for Marian.
Yeah, there's two things. When you're looking at it, the straight ball runs, and it really has to be the absolute perfect placement and the perfect weight, because you got your goalkeeper that can clean anything up, and then you got your end line that you can let it run over. But it's so easy to defend, too, because there's just not much complicated decision-making in straight linear soccer.
Phenomenal tackle by Marian with the speed of Keon Boney charging in. Perfectly timed, not only well timed, but ball was kept in play by Marian.
What a turn.
Yep, and that'll be a foul.
What a turn.
A largely whistle-free half. 8th foul against either of the two teams. Marian still searching for that first shot. Again, to set the picture, they know they're in the conference tournament. They would prefer for at least a round to be here. And if they win their last two, that would be the case. Luna, great touch. Ball forward, just a bit behind the intended target. Here's Aaron Jolly. Jolly, the second leading goal scorer with 5 for Mount Vernon Nazarene. 4 assists, second best as well. And a throw in coming for the Knights. Dante Cooper being told to wait just a bit longer to make his debut.
If you're Coach Jenkins, you're liking this last 10 to 15 minutes. You've had a few more opportunities right at the edge of the attacking third. You want just a touch more dangerous play, dynamic play in and around the box.
And James, all of 2 years removed from finishing his playing days here. Began playing collegially at the University of Indianapolis. John Higgins brought him over to the States to play on the south side of the Division II level. And James went down to LSU Shreveport at the NAI level briefly. Came back to Marian and played both in the COVID campaign of 2020 and fall of 2021 as well. Flag stays down here for Marian. So we'll finish the Coach Jenkins bio piece now as the scoring opportunity goes away. So Jenks coached with you at DePaul University last year, then became the interim head coach here at Marian. You had a chance to talk to mom and dad are in the States to spend some time with their son tonight.
They came over to visit, and, you know, they're grandparents now. Jenksy's got a little Jenks. And so they've I think it's their third trip over in the last 12 months to share in the birth of their grandchild and time with little Jenksy. But proud parents. He's done great.
Anton Bezborodov is about to enter for Marian, sophomore from Ukraine. Bending ball in. Good job by defender to get there first. Touch, though, eludes Marian in terms of protecting a pass. At the edge of the 18. Wow. Off the side netting, no damage.
Holy smokes, great touch to create the opportunity, and that's a bullet coming off his foot.
So both teams will make a substitution. With that substitution, let's thank our friends at BSN. They are the preferred provider of apparel for Marian University Athletics. Thanks to our friends at BSN Sport. Luna will come off, and again, he's been playing limited minutes all season. Entered in the second half against St. Francis and played awfully well. What a day that was for Marian against St. Francis. Marian played the Cougars of Fort Wayne in 4 different sports and won in all of them. Men's soccer, women's soccer, football, and volleyball.
You talk about Coach Jenkins' college career from UIndy to Shreveport to here at Marian. You look at his time as a pro and developmental player back in the UK. And you look at his time as an assistant coach here with Marian and assistant coach with DePaul. All of that stuff just goes into your tactical IQ brain because you're taking little bits and pieces from every one of those stops, and you're kind of molding your own coaching personality into that.
Good work here. Bezborodov, his first few touches of the match. Great ball. Gonzalez onside. First touch, gets a second opportunity. And how about that?
Goodness.
Much like from Saturday, out of not much, Marian finds a goal for Gonzalez. It's his 9th of the season.
Absolutely incredible goal. That first touch gets away from him. He's able to catch up with it, collect it, nick it past the defender. Goalkeeper had virtually all the goal covered, and he just slips it in just inside the far post.
I'm not sure if that was Lucha Libre inspired. I'm not sure if that was Halloween inspired. A combination of the two. When you've scored 9 in 13 matches, you can don the mask and do the dance, whatever you want to do. 1-0 in favor of Marian, and now, Brad, how does that change the tenor of the match?
Well, it makes the tactical adjustments at halftime a little bit more relaxed. You know, if you're coming in and you're Marian and you want to hold that 4th spot, you're trying to figure out how do we pull 3 points from this match. And at halftime, when you go in 0-0 and you haven't really found your footing on a consistent basis, you get a little bit of anxiety as players. Now you come in, okay, now we can settle in. Now we can start playing our game. There's a little bit more ability to relax. And now you take a look at Mount Vernon. They've got to open up. They've got to chase it a bit right now.
A couple of more subs await for Mount Vernon Nazarene when given the opportunity. Thiago De Jesus was from Northern Indiana. And Diego Shaw also now will be waved on. Watching the fact that Thiago is from the South Bend area, Osceola, Indiana. That part of the state, as per usual, well represented in the upcoming soccer state finals. Bethany Christian and Mishawaka Marian both will make appearances in the soccer state finals that take place this weekend, about 2 miles from here. at the home of IUPUI and the Indy 11, Michael A. Carroll Track and Soccer Stadium. Bending ball in. Rueda. Not the greatest of clearances there by Marian, but Bezborodov will do his best to block out the oncoming player for Mount Vernon Nazarene. And Marian says, you know what, let's put this on the beach for a little bit, shall we? Throw in coming here from Mount Vernon Naz.
You saw Marian squeezing that space, and they're still able to find that in ball into Jolly's feet at the top of the box, and Marian just collapsed on it.
Throw in coming for Marian. Bit of a dicey choice for the Knights, but doesn't come back to bite him just yet. That ball rolled across the byline, but now down a goal, not surprisingly. Mount Vernon Nazarene's going to try to pick up the pace going to halftime. What that does allows a little more pace at the back, and Gonzalez will switch sides of the attack accordingly. Final 4 minutes and change of half number one. Gonzalez, his 9th of the season. He's Marian a 1-0 lead. And if Marian wins both tonight and at Huntington on Saturday, they will be the number 4 seed at worst. They'll host a match here next Saturday, November the 4th, in the Crossroads League tournament. That ball was last touched by a Mount Vernon Nazarene defender. Throw in coming for the Knights. Quick look at the scoreboard. Indiana Wesleyan now leads Huntington 2-0 early in the second half. And Bethel leading Taylor 1-0. That's a very positive result for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Taylor and Goshen, the two teams right now that are outside the conference tournament scenario. We'll update that a couple of more times. Probably once more during halftime and a couple of more times during the second half of tonight's match. That'll be a goal kick.
Albus, he's solid. Solid in the air, solid on the ground, big body center back.
Sophomore from Crown Point High School.
Little too much. Just keep the ball moving.
Touched by Marian. The hit. Just sent wide.
Cheeky little opportunity from Boney. You take a look at this, and it looked like he was taking another stride, and he just pulled the trigger on the ball.
Clock hasn't been stopped just yet. Now it has been. As Keon comes up just a bit gimpy. He has played and started every match so far this year. Has the senior.
There's all kinds of different goal scorers. There are the crafty ones that, just play three-dimensional balls. There are the guys that just are very, very physical and just, whether it's a shot or just running through a play. Got guys with pace, so they're all different kinds. And right now here in this first 43 minutes, this kid looks like he's got it all. He's got pace, he's got a little bit of craftiness, can pull the trigger on the ball.
Got 22 goals in 3 seasons, along with 14 assists. So making the move to Mount Vernon Nazarene 2 seasons ago. Listed as a senior for this Cougars team. It's a handout from both the trainer and Alan Tenorio of Marian, and perhaps his first half is done, but knowing that he's just a minute 50 into getting a 15-minute break, you would hope maybe we see him back to start half number 2. And clearly, the issue appears to be as Kyle Al walks over and says, hey, I'm sorry about that. Keon basically had no room to kind of follow through as Al closed him down. You and I saw that in an Indy 11 match, a player get hurt basically after he scored a goal, couldn't complete his follow-through, and it cost that player, Brian Rebillon, really almost the rest of the season.
It's crazy. You're in the weight room, you're getting strong, you're doing all sorts of flexibility stuff, and sometimes it just takes landing wrong or twisting wrong. Threw my back out once opening the fridge door.
I think that's just middle age.
That could be. That could be. Yeah, now it's got to get out the other way. You've brought 6, 7 players over into this pocket. You can't keep playing in that pocket. Someone's got to release the pressure.
Tackle with the contact man with the ball first, so player down for Marian, but seemed to be a legal challenge. Gonzalez, the player that was worse for wear. But he is now back up into the mix.
One minute remaining in the half.
No win coming here.
Here, especially with about a minute to go, everybody's got somebody that can throw the ball long. So this is where you start throwing some bodies up. You look at the clock and say, how many guys do we commit to the 18? And let's get a ball in there that we either flick on across the 6 or flick to the back post, or we play it short.
And if you've got the flip throw, well, that's going to be a foul, though. That push in the back. And so now that Vernon Nazarene has to get assembled quickly here with time of the essence.
You hate seeing a foul here.
It's the two-man wall being shown by Marian. This one, I think that hit off of the upright or the crossbar of the football goalposts. A missed opportunity by Mount Vernon Nazarene, and that's it and that's all for half number 1. Well, back and forth, but primarily played in the midfield. Not a lot of shots, not a lot of opportunities. Marian cashed in the lone shot on target they had in the first half. Marian looking to make it 5 league wins and 8 tries due to that man's 9th goal of the season. Sebastian Gonzalez, Marian 1, Mount Vernon Nazarene 0. Stay tuned, halftime show comes your way next. You're watching Marian University Soccer on the ISC Sports Network.
I've always liked Indianapolis. I've been interested in the bigger city life. The community and everything fell into place.
With my degree, I plan on becoming a pediatric nurse. Indianapolis has several hospitals and different options to choose from as to where I should go.
I chose Indianapolis because I love the Pacers, I love the Colts, and this is a basketball city. Just wanted to stay in the city, play in front of my friends and family, and try to give Marian my best.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Pepsi's always had great taste. Today, try great taste with zero sugar. This is the Pepsi with zero compromises. This is Pepsi Zero Sugar.
Does your school offer high-quality education? Does it offer virtual or hybrid options? Marian University Preparatory School educates students in a safe, faith-based environment focused on college and career exploration. Here at Marian University Preparatory School, we empower parents and help students to master what they love and learn as they live. We are now enrolling students in grades 6 through 9 this fall. Full financial aid packages are still available. Act now to make MU Prep your school for 2022.
Some say you have to choose between reaching for Mars or harnessing more energy from a star. Going faster than the speed of sound versus bringing clean water from out of the ground. We say, why not both? The choice then is Marian University's Whitaker School of Engineering. Discover success with purpose. Learn more at marian.edu/engineering.
An absolutely spectacular evening here in Indianapolis, and it looks good for the home team so far. 1-0 they lead over Mount Vernon Nazarene. Tonight's match on the ISC Sports Network, presented in part by Indiana Members Credit Union. How to support Marian University and now offers a free Marian Knights debit card. The card is included when you open a free IMCU checking account. Get your Marian University Knights debit card today and show your support. Visit any IMCU branch or sign up online now at imcu.com. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hodder with you. Again, frankly, the first half of this match, Brad, looked a lot like the second half of the match we saw on Saturday. Not a lot of chances. Marian cashes one in. Your thoughts on what you've seen so far?
Well, my tone changed after that goal because it would have been a little bit different talk at halftime. Everybody's got a little bit more confidence. Things are a little bit more relaxed, but it's still the attention to detail. The team needs to keep the ball a little bit more. Some of that is that first touch when it comes into a player, and some of it is the runs off the ball. But I really think the opportunities are going to start to increase for Marian the more they're willing to commit to stopping the straight balls into the attack. I think when you start looking at complicating decisions for defenders, when you play in straight lines, you make it very easy decisions for them. When you start playing at angles, you start playing three-dimensional ball, now it becomes something that complicates the decision making, and with so much stuff that a player has to process during the flow of a game, anytime you can complicate that decisions, you're doing a good thing.
Quick check of the numbers. 6 shots for Mount Vernon Nazarene, only one of those on target. 1 shot for Marian, clearly on target because it went in the back of the net. 1 save was made by Alvaro Rueda. We'll get back to Alvaro coming up in a matter of moments. 6 fouls against the Cougars, 5 against the Knights. 2 corners for the Cougars, none for the Knights. Offside flag has gone up twice on Marian. So part of the storyline for Marian is Alvaro Rueda is getting his first match of the season against Juan Torres out for a violation of team rules. He was named the Crossroads League Defender of the Week for his efforts last week. We saw him have a clean sheet here on Saturday night. How do you assess the job that Rueda has done in his first appearance of the season?
It's great. You know, a couple of things that you look for as a coach and you know, as a former goalkeeper, the things you look for are how jittery does the guy look if he hasn't played much? I haven't seen it. You know, I haven't seen any bit of anxiousness. You know, he comes out and boxes a ball in traffic, knows he's going to get hit, doesn't just reach the ball, but boxes it up and out, which gives him and the Knights defenders the chance to reset defensively. Then you take a look at his ability to play with his feet. They're very comfortable knocking it back to him, so that, you know, obviously his back line has got comfort in him. And then there's been a couple of times that Boney and Jolly have come and pressed the ball, and he's been under a little bit of pressure. Hasn't phased him at all. So you take a look at where we're at right now, I give him an A.
I would also say this in terms of the sheer numbers. There are 7 goalkeepers on the Marian University roster.
Jenksy loves goalkeepers.
Clearly.
He goes through them very quickly.
Well, Torres clearly has played every minute. He likes him. But if you're the second best guy, probably some good competition and practice, again, clearly from the sounds of it, and Rueda. So far, so good for Marian. We'll take this quick timeout when we come back. Highlights of half number 1. Frankly, highlights what happened before tonight's contest as well. And a quick check of the Crossroads League table and scores, all coming up after this short timeout. Marian 1, Mount Vernon Nazarene 0. Back after this on the ISC Sports Network.
Still waiting? You could have been seen by an orthopedic specialist at Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Avoid the wait, cost, and drama of the ER. Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Orthopedic care without the drama. Find a location near you. Still waiting? You could have been seen by an orthopedic specialist at Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Avoid the wait, cost, and drama of the ER. Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Orthopedic care without the drama. Find a location near you.
Meet Kate. She has a lot to juggle. Family, work, it can lead to trying days and tired nights. But we know Kate, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know at some point her space at a premium life may change. IMCU is here to help Kate and you find your space. Now, add on or remodel with an introductory rate of 3.9% APR on a home equity line of credit. Today, it's all about Kate. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
The minute I stepped foot on campus, I didn't want to leave.
Everyone here is about helping you succeed.
It's hard work, but it's totally worth it. I have so much support from my advisors.
The nursing program is why I chose Marian.
I'm studying to be a teacher.
I'm a business major.
My professors really challenge me, and I know I'll be ready for my career.
A great education is the best thing you could ever do for yourself.
Marian University, an exceptional education and an unforgettable experience. Apply today for full scholarship consideration at marian.edu.
This is the Pepsi for America's Best Barbecue. Worthy of 100-mile detours and 1,000 likes. Looks good. This is the Pepsi for mopping, dipping, and dousing. Whatever you're craving, this is the Pepsi for you. This is the Pepsi for serious fans and serious eats. This is the Pepsi for Sundays at the ballpark and days off at your favorite pizza joint. Right, Aaron?
Best slice in New York.
Whatever you're craving, this is the Pepsi for you.
Both teams starting to get loose for half number 2. Marian, 1 goal. That's all they needed so far. 1-0, they lead Mount Vernon Nazarene. Today's match of the ISC Sports Network brought to us in part by Tom O'Brien Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. If saving money is important to you, visit Tom O'Brien Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. They're a proud sponsor of Marian Athletics. Tom O'Brien is Indy's preferred Jeep dealer with 2 locations, the biggest Jeep inventory in Indiana. To show our support, Tom O'Brien donates $200 to Marian for every car any student, parent, employee, or friend of Marian buys when you mention this promo. Go Knights and go to Tom O'Brien to see how our family works for you since 1933. Let's show you the highlights from half number 1. Again, we've kind of touched on this from the Marian perspective as to if you're James Jenkins, this is your tact. This is what you're talking about. Let's go to the separate side. For Zach Gansberg and Mount Vernon Nazarene, what is your message to your guys at halftime?
Well, I think you've had great opportunities when you found Jolly in a 1v1 on the left side. So I'd like to exploit that a little bit more. And when you do that, if he's able to get through that first defender, everybody from Marian needs to slide into that space to be a help defender for him. That's going to open up the spaces for Parker and Boney.
So Mount Vernon Nazarene comes in as the number 7 or 8 seed, depending on how things play out in this match and on Saturday as well. Here is the lone tally of the match. Again, Gonzalez getting his 9th of the season, and just a couple of moments of individual brilliance with terms of the touch and sliding it past the keeper as well. So we give you every look we've got of this one, given the quality of the goal and the importance of it to this match.
And we talk about all the time in the broadcast that we do how goal scorers just sort of find things. You look at this ball that Gonzalez takes a heavy touch on the first touch, and then it goes right to the defender, and he and the defender hit it a 50-50 ball. And for goal scorers, when you're hot, that ball always seems to land at your feet.
Now, that was the highlight of the first half. How about some highlights from before the match? As we mentioned, tonight was senior night, and the senior night festivities took place before our broadcast began. So we're going to make sure that we clipped up some of those moments and able to share them with you as well. Again, here's Alvaro Rueda, who is getting a bit of a different senior night maybe than he had planned on for this Marian team. And this is unique for James as well. Again, James, frankly, was teammates with some of these guys 2 and 3 years ago, but now has coached them. And for some of these players, again, maybe their playing time has changed as a senior compared to what it was as a freshman, sophomore, or junior. What is this moment like from the head coach's perspective?
It's emotional because, you know, the one thing you don't want to do is make this moment not memorable for the guys. This is the culmination of their time on the field. It's a celebration of all they've invested in the program. You want it to be special. You want to make sure the parents and the families are there. You want to make sure you've got a nice gift, a jersey remember for them. where they can hang it in their office and they can hang it in their den forever. It's one of those moments that's going to stick with you as a coach for a long time, and it's one that if you can do it correctly and celebrate those careers correctly, will stay with the player forever.
Again, if Marian's able to hang on and win this, it will go a long way in terms of ensuring they get at least one more match in this building and maybe more beyond that. Congratulations to the senior class of Marian University. Trying to get this senior night send-off with a victory. So far, so good. They lead by a score of 1-0. With that, we'll go ahead and take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll update you on the other scores from around the league. We'll also check in on the women's match because while the men are playing here, women are playing over in Ohio. We'll update you as to how they're doing when we return. You're watching Marian University men's soccer here on the ISC Sports Network.
Marian University is like a home to me.
Campus is where I made friends that I know will last a lifetime.
Academics, sports, or arts, Marian's got something for you.
Plus, downtown Indy is just 10 minutes away from campus.
I'm a huge sports fan. Living in Indy, I've got the Knights, the Colts, and the Pacers.
Applying was so fast and easy.
I went to Marian for the education, but what I took away was the experience.
Marian University offers an exceptional education and an unforgettable experience. Apply today for full scholarship consideration at marian.edu.
Meet Zach. Day and night, rain or shine, even just out for a spin, Zach gets around. But we know Zach, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he's been saving up to trade up. IMCU is here to help Zach and you drive your dream. Lock in your rate with pre-approval. It's fast, free, and makes buying the car of your dreams easier. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Some say you have to choose between reaching for Mars or harnessing more energy from a star. Going faster than the speed of sound versus bringing clean water from out of the ground. We say, why not both? The choice then is Marian University's Whitaker School of Engineering. Discover success with purpose. Learn more at marian.edu/engineering.
I've always liked Indianapolis. I've been interested in the bigger city life. The community and everything fell into place.
With my degree, I plan on becoming a pediatric nurse. Indianapolis has several hospitals and different options to choose from as to where I should go.
I chose Indianapolis because I love the Pacers, I love the Colts, and this is a basketball city. Just wanted to stay in the city, play in front of my friends and family, and try to give Marian my best.
All right, so let's update you on the other matches taking place in men's soccer across the league. In Indiana Wesleyan, they're currently in the third position on the league table. They lead at Huntington 2-1 as that match is nearing its completion. Bethel, a 1-0 lead at the break against Taylor. Again, that's good news for Mount Vernon Nazarene. And scoreless between Spring Arbor and St. Francis, a point. Again, good enough for both those teams. Spring Arbor in the exact same boat as Marian. They know they're in the league tournament. They're kind of hoping for a Marian slip-up so they can maybe get a home game. Good chance those two teams will see each other in the 4-5 game coming up next Saturday. Only question is where they might be playing it. Now, on the women's side of soccer, the Marian women currently playing a 1-1 draw early in the second half against Mount Vernon Nazarene. Again, Marian ranked number 11 in the nation. They were the runners-up to fellow conference foe Spring Arbor last year, but this year's been a bit different from an injury standpoint, and some of the players went in and out of the lineup. Right now, they're top 11 in the country. They're not even the top half of the league. It shows you how good the league is, too, but as they are trying to effort their way to at least a home game, but they know for the first time in a handful of years they will not be hosting the entirety of the conference tournament here at St. Vincent Field. Other score I wanted to pass along to you as well. This is also the final week of the women's volleyball season. Marian playing on the road for 3 successive matches the next 4 nights. They are in set number 3 at number 17 Bethel. They are trailing in the 3rd set, and they split the first 2 sets. The Marian women will play at number 1 Indiana Wesleyan coming up on Friday night. We'll finish out the regular season at Taylor coming up on Saturday afternoon. Brad, your thoughts on what we're going to see here early in half number 2?
Well, I think if you're Mount Vernon, the interesting thing is, we talked about the math with wins, losses, 3 points, 1 point, all that stuff that factors into seeding and stuff. And while typically we don't allow phones on the bench, at this point of the year, I'll have my assistant coach be looking at these other scores around the league so I know, do we need to open it up? Do we need to really press here? Or can we sit back a little bit? Because some of those other scores are going to factor into how these two teams are seated. So while you're focused on tactics, you're making sure that you're sending the right message to the guys, you've also got a little look on the side of saying, okay, we need to chase this game pretty hard right now.
Somebody's in charge of the iPad during the second
Somebody,
half.
and it's got to be invisible too. You don't want players thinking, okay, we're not completely locked in on this game, but we need to understand how to coach it.
Good start by Daniel Martinez in terms of service into the box. It was a goal kick, but again, possession short-lived for Marian. On the ball towards the back post, Marian quick to knock that ball away. And a foul against Mount Vernon Nazarene. And if Marian gets to host a match here next Saturday, we will carry it for you on the ISC Sports Network. Those details will likely become official as of Saturday night. Of course, our cameras will be here on Saturday as well, because remarkably, the Marian men's basketball season starts on Saturday. Scott Hetty's team, a perennial national tournament contender. And the same can be said for Wiley Brown's Grenadiers of IU Southeast. Those two teams face each other Saturday afternoon at 3. John Cupo and a guy that Brad Hunter knows very well will have the call of that game on Saturday on the ISC Sports Network.
Who's that?
Bill Fenlon.
Get out of town.
He just got into town. We're going to let him stay. Through ball here. Does not find his intended target of Daniel Martinez. Sam Hershey with the right idea, just again a bit too fast. And Rueda, while the stat sheet doesn't look overly impressive, he's made one save. He has done everything asked of him so far.
You know, when you look at great goalkeepers, I think the statistics can be misleading at times. You know, you got the people that start to chart saves. You know, it's not just an indictment of the defense, but it's an indictment of the goalkeeper, because if you're positioning your guys correctly and you're pulling the strings with your backs, when to press, when to step, when to double, and elements like that, you can destroy attacks before they get to a shot. So it's not just reading the game on when to come off the line and when for you to make a play that's not going to lead to a save or not going to lead to a shot, but it's how you position your defenders. And if you do it all correctly and you're constantly talking, you're constantly moving the pieces, you may have a headache, you may lose your voice, and you may have no stats for that game, but you get the win.
Brad just described his 1997 season with the Rockford Raptors in full detail right there.
I left out one detail. I left out the mullet.
That's lodged in all of our minds that we're there to witness its greatness. First chance for Marian to kind of break out the press here in half number 2. Great touch by Martinez to keep that ball in play. Daniel Martinez, sophomore from Puebla, Mexico. Good to see Keon Boney back out there. He left with 2 minutes to play in the first half after kind of having a shortened follow-through from a blast on goal. Tackle
Great
is
tackle.
a clean one, says Youssef El Masousi. Seifert, player on side, yes. The bounce ends up allowing the defense to get behind him. Possession right now, what is most important, protecting this 1-goal lead for Marian.
Yeah, you talk about protecting. Gonzalez protects the ball incredibly well. He's big-bodied forward. He puts the ball on his back foot. He leans into the defender to make sure that the defender isn't able to get a foot in and poke the ball away. Oh, got to look to your right shoulder.
Cameron Hooker just couldn't get the steps right that time. That will be a throw-in coming from Mount Vernon Nazarene. Cam has gone the full distance in this match.
And here's a decision right here. You play it straight down the line. You had Gonzalez off your right shoulder making a run into the box. You could have slipped him in.
Not the right connecting ball there for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Marian trying to get their 11th win of the season.
Yeah, great turnaround.
Not too shabby for a first-year head coach.
I think, you know what? You ask him, okay, here's a guy that's been through a lot of battles as a player, in a lot of championships, a lot of big games. You ask him, are you more nervous as a coach heading into a game than you ever were as a player?
I guarantee you the answer is yes.
100%. Because the thing about coaching, the cruel part about coaching is you can have little tweaks and little impacts here and there, but a lot of this stuff, it's what you do in training and how you've developed the guys, and so much of this is out of your hands. We don't get 20-second timeouts. We don't get full timeouts where we can regroup and change tactics. You got to hope your players can recognize it and change on the fly if they need to, and part of that is the confidence you instill in them and the training that you put them through.
Several options inside of the 18 to choose from. Ball headed down. Rueda watches it go by harmlessly.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Parker. He has been he's the kind of target that's a good complement to Boney. He can hold up play. Big forward, you can find him. He can play. He's turning the ball great when it's time to turn. He's holding it up when it's time to hold it up.
Give away at the back for Marian. Danger coming from it just yet for the Knights.
Great decision.
Hooker filling the space. Cameron wears 14. Kelton wears 15 for Marian, for the duo from the state of Colorado. And from an eligibility standpoint, Cameron a junior, Kelton a senior, but both electing to go through the senior night festivities. Kelton began his career at Colorado Springs at the NCAA Division II level. Right idea by Cameron Hooker, and craftily draws the foul.
Right idea. Ridiculous idea to even think about playing a move like that, and is able to execute and pull it off. Impressive bit of technical ability here.
You don't even get mad at the defender on that one. You just gotta
say, hey, it's good thing you didn't go right through him.
That is Max Schwalk that committed the foul. Vernon will send this one in. Merrick, the native of France and transfer from Arizona Western. Back post serviced. Trying to dial up the bicycle. That will count as the first official save of the evening for the starting netminder and Stolp.
Oh, that's a great touch.
Back to by the way, I want to make sure there was a jersey change, and we kind of kidded on Saturday night that Donovan Doolittle was wearing a number you don't often see in number 50. Well, he is the player wearing number 30. He entered the game about the late stages of the first half, and he had the game winner, the only goal on Saturday night. So we misidentified him for a few minutes of half number one. He has made the change from 50 to 30 for tonight's game.
Yeah, when you score the game winner, you get to move up 20.
Well, literally, in just watching how he made that turn, I go, that's not the guy that normally wears number 30. We were very impressed by Doolittle's work, the freshman from Canterbury School of Fort Wayne. So anyway, it's Doolittle that is out there currently for Marian. Tenorio. Marian content to make Mount Vernon Nazarene come chase him. Throw-in coming for the Cougars. Boney the target, and again, he may not be at full speed after that first half knock that he took.
I think they misread each other on that one. I think Boney was looking for that ball inside, trying to cut in front of the defender, and it was played to the outside.
So Schaefer will come on for Marian. We saw him briefly in half number 2. Saturday night's win against St. Francis. Schaefer, the freshman from Germany. A bit of a hobbled player here. Pim Hougens will have a seat. Yep. I'm going to say that's going to, and we'll stop the clock here as well to check on him. First chance for us to call his name tonight, the sophomore, also from the Netherlands. So both teams have a chance to kind of rinse out for a second as you kind of saw that develop just, and again, that was, as you could also tell, that was that kind of dreaded non-contact injury. I hope, he just kind of took a wrong step and kind of rolled an ankle. Great job by our camera crew to catch that. There was no contact there. Just kind of had a bobble on the turf.
Yeah, it's weird. Sometimes as you're just kind of shuffling, just takes a cleat to catch on the wrong bit, a wrong chunk of turf, and then all of a sudden you're not tightening up your ankle and it's loose, and then it just jars it a bit.
So Hougens will come out. Walters will take the throw. Seifert. Waiting to find a teammate and does that.
I was driven into his chest, drops it right to his foot, and then finds Gonzalez in the middle.
And that's going to be a foul. Yep, Gonzalez will be shown a card. So the first card of the match will go against Sebastian Gonzalez, the goal scorer for Marian. And frankly, some pretty hard tackles have been allowed because they've gotten the ball first.
Mm-hmm.
He did not get the ball first on that case. That was, I think, a pretty easy call to make, frankly. Schwalk will play this back to his keeper in Stolp, who is
tough ball to handle.
Yeah, wandered some 20 feet from his own 18. Tenorio hustling over. The 1-0 victory on Saturday was the first of that variety for Marian all season. They are playing like they might be looking at a second one or trying to hang on to that scoreline. I would not say they have been the countering team or that Mount Vernon Nazarene has dominated possession, but they've had the better of the chances in this match.
Great ball.
Doolittle plays this one forward. Seifert. Looking for the edge of the 18. Good touch here. Takes a deflection. Gonzalez blasts away. Follow-up shot. Doesn't get through either. That's going to be an infraction against the Knights. Tenorio, the guilty party. Hougens wants to get back in the mix when given the opportunity. And it will be a throw-in. A good bit of lobbying by Marian there, saying it's off his foot. Both AR and referee agreed. Seifert. Gets that to a spot, hoping a teammate can get there, and he does.
Love it. You've seen the last 5 minutes or so, some sustained possession by Marian in the defensive third and a little bit in the middle third. And you're comfortable with that because you're kind of getting, your opponent to chase a little bit here and there. They're spilling a little bit of energy, but you always kind of got your mind in two worlds. What happens with the bad touch? What happens if we turn this ball over here? So you'd much rather have these sustained bouts of possession in the middle third to attacking third.
Stolp hits the reset button. Real estate ball here from Mount Vernon Nazarene. And now we'll simply watch that ball roll across the touchline for a Marian throw. And one more regular season tilt to play for both of these teams. Marian at Huntington on Saturday night.
Oh, what a find.
The hit, and it's a goal. We're level with 30 minutes to play. And again, that one comes from this kind of out of the blink of an eye. But the goal scored by Sam Hershey, and we're tied at 1.
Unbelievable ball by Jolly out on the outside to find the feet of Boney in the middle. A great one-touch ball to Hershey as he's coming in underneath him, and a great strike.
So frankly, that's kind of how both goals have been scored in tonight's contest. For Hershey, his second goal of the season. So a goal apiece.
He's been a bit of a spark plug through the middle of the field, and on that one he just found himself right underneath Boney. Little touch back to him. A great one-touch strike just inside the post.
So a point could go a long way for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Right now, that puts Marian on the road in terms of the conference tournament because Spring Arbor has taken a 1-0 lead at St. Francis. Opportunity here. Player goes down and not enough in it.
It's a right non-call. Parker tried to sell it.
Doolittle knocked away by Martinez. Let's update you as to the other matchups because there is a really good story from the Huntington perspective. They were down 2-0 against Indiana Wesleyan. They lead 3-2 with 12 minutes left to play. And as you can also see, Bethel, again, at Taylor, and given Bethel's prowess in standing atop the table, a Bethel win at Taylor would not be a huge surprise tonight. And for as much as the point would help Mount Vernon Nazarene, that result would be even better. Taylor losing to, again, significantly just ensure that they are conference tournament bound.
Good pick. Oh!
Goal kick coming.
Love the thought. Love the thought. You take the touch into the 18, you bring the goalkeeper to the near post, keep it on the ground, give it a chance on the far side.
Vernon, good looking ball here. Evan Dowdy, first time we've called his name tonight, the sophomore from Hamilton Southeastern.
Great touch.
Good switch of the attack. Looking back post, headed down, and just parried away.
Wow.
Well, again, keepers have not been asked to do much. They were on that play. Well done by the young man from the Netherlands and Bram Stolp.
Great buildup. Absolutely great buildup. Knocking that ball east to west. Giving a great serve into the box. Right in between the two defenders. My goodness, what a save. Got that big paw to the ball.
This is the first corner of the match for Marian. Vernon will take it. Again. Marian couldn't really snap that header down. Collision. Equal parts. And again, the effort by Doolittle. And that will be a foul against Marian. James Jenkins not happy about that. Again, that's no cards being shown, just kind of a warning. And Mount Vernon Naz wanted the restart to be a quick one, but referee was still having his conversation. You could tell that Nathan Parker wasn't overly happy about the challenge. Going to do a little credit. He got the ball first,
yep,
but
he did. You like the way the kid plays, man. He's all out all the time.
Well, there are a few high schools that will train you for this level of soccer the way that Canterbury School will do. One of the early adopters of soccer as a high school sport in this state. Thinking about that program a little bit this week. Going to have Memorial playing Mishawaka Marian in the 2A championship game on Saturday. Bill Veith now in his 38th year.
My goodness.
As the head coach of Memorial. Because we've seen guys like Greg Mock and Jerry Little of Canterbury and North Central both retire in the last couple of years. Ben Householter, who will be coaching opposite Bill in that 2A championship game, flags up. Only in his 26th year as the head coach at Mishawaka Marian.
Just a little pup.
And my guess is you've probably recruited both those places a few times over the years.
Yep. They produce great players. Well, you don't stay in the game 2-3 decades if you're not good at what you do.
So back to live action.
Yep, easy call.
High boot. So Hershey. And obviously, this second goal of the match, first from Mount Vernon Nazarene, has completely lit a fire under both teams. Now it's like, okay.
Yep, a little bit back and forth right now, which you kind of like. You know, if you're Coach Jenkins, you feel, hey, we're at home, senior night. We're the better team right now. We want to grab control of this, settle it down. Let's play at our pace.
Taken away by Mount Vernon Nazarene. You got a 2v2 here. And Boney sprints forward. Now it's really a one-on-one scenario, and he was off. Yep.
Wrong play. He had Boney on the first opportunity on that run. He had a full head of steam. He had a ton of space. He pulled it back, took an extra touch on it, and that just evaporated the opportunity. That frustrates you. You get into the film session, you put your arm around the kid, and you say, what did you see here?
Right. It's like you've had that speech before. Great job by Tenorio to just kind of stiff arm the potential tackle there. Onside left foot. Keeper spills it, but nobody close enough by to. Dowdy going for a moment of glory.
Ball had a wee bit of movement on it. You see that thing dip? It held up perfectly for him on that bounce.
Vernon Nazarene will be back at home on Saturday when they take on St. Francis. I mentioned that Bethel Taylor score and getting a point here. Now, Vernon Nazarene does not own the tiebreaker with Taylor. So a point tonight would not be enough to clinch their spot. Ball played across the side.
Yeah, and that shot should have never happened. You got situations when you're out of shape defensively, or that ball's bouncing around, and you just realize things are not kind of clicking up the way it's supposed to. It's got to be cleared. You can't try and settle that when the space is being squeezed.
As some substitutions rolled through for both Marian and Mount Vernon Nazarene, let's thank our friends at First On Site. Formerly More Restoration. They're here to help you power through whatever comes your way, from fire and flood to catastrophic storms or biohazards. They have the team, technology, and resources to help you restore, rebuild, and rise. Go Knights.
Good movement again. There you go.
Ball knocked forward. Tenorio. Left foot sends it across.
Oh,
what a touch finish. It's Downey that gets the goal for Marian. What a ball from Tenorio. Again, he normally doesn't wander that far forward. Maybe he should. Put it on a platter, knock it home. Marian back in front.
Dowdy has been sniffing around that goal, and what a great decision. Outwork your defender, get first touch to the ball, and just nick it past the keeper.
Pretty soccer by the Knights. So it's now a 2-1 lead with 22 minutes left to go. For Dowdy, it is his third goal of the season. For Tenorio, again, this is more about where he's normally positioned on the pitch more than his skill. That's his first assist of the year.
Well, he was calling for it. He saw the space lining up, and he's making that overlapping run. He's getting in there, and he kept demanding it. Give it, give it, give it. He knew what he could do. He knew where the opportunities were. He knew that he had runs coming into the box. Called his shot.
Well, business has most certainly picked up in these last 10 minutes. This one feels like there may be more in it with 22 to play.
You mentioned it, that last 10 minutes, there's a little bit of an elevated level of play from both teams.
Well, to put this in perspective, Marian had one shot clearly on target in the first half. They now have 8 shots, 5 on target for the match. Seifert. Aggressive on that cutback. Marian. Alb will track it down. Alb, his second season on campus, sophomore from the region, from Crown Point, a perennial soccer power in this state. Foul whistled against the Knights. But Alb, one of those rare players that basically got on campus, and while he wasn't handed a starting job, he was a rotational player immediately.
You look at his size, his strength, his athleticism. He walks into your office, you're going to take him seriously.
So from 40 yards out to the edge of the 18, steered clear. Hershey, the goal scorer, will settle for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Martinez, hit from distance that Rueda appreciates the easy opportunity.
Yeah, that's one where you got to change your mind a little bit. You know, you're 35 yards out. If you're going to have a rip, that ball has to lay up perfectly, and so do your strides. As soon as that stride got off and he was just a little bit off kilter, that one should have been pulled back and kept.
Good. That is off a Mount Vernon Nazarene player, and throw-in coming here for the Knights.
Yeah, we got to get out of this side.
Stolp with the ball at his feet. Knows exactly where he's at with the variety of lines we've got here at St. Vincent Field. Home of soccer, football, and lacrosse at Marian. All 3 events that we televise on the ISC Sports Network. Hougens trying to work around Hooker. Able to keep that ball in play, and well done, earns a corner.
Played, yeah. Thought he painted himself into a corner. He got out of it.
Just the 3rd corner of the match for the Cougars. Boney for now, the lone bit of traffic, and Mount Vernon Nazarene likes to go short. Hershey. And that'll be a foul against Hershey, saying that he had the jersey tuck. Ramirez, by the way, will be waved back on when given the opportunity for Marian. This reminder, fans of Marian University Athletics excited to launch their new strategic fundraising campaign to enhance the student-athlete experience across campus. Because the generosity of several Marian donors, all new gifts or pledges between September 1st through April 2024 to athletic scholarship funds and the Facility Enhancement Fund will be matched up to $1 million. To make your gift to support these efforts, please visit marian.edu/journey to 2030. Additional information can be found at MUKnights.com. Rakestraw, Brad Hodder with you. It's been a good one. Pace is quickened in half number 2. Both sides have scored a goal. Mount Vernon Nazarene equalized. Marian reclaimed the lead. That was just 5 minutes ago. We play on. Stolt not shy about being that sweeper keeper behind the back line.
Yeah, little misplay by the center back, and so he had to step into action as opposed to just being a release valve.
Substitution will be number 17, Gerald Ramirez.
So Ramirez returns for Marian. We'll stop the clock here. And a card shown to Ramirez because I think he came on before being waved on.
Yellow card, Marian.
Look at a throw in coming. Vernon on, couldn't clear it. Martinez at the edge of the 18 as that ball pinballs through several sets of legs.
Yeah, you got 3 players around the ball. You're in a triple team, and you're kind of half tackling. Someone's got to go in, win that ball. The other 2 are the contained players.
Seifert draws the foul. Now Marian can begin the process of shaving a few seconds on these restarts before they happen. Tenorio.
Brilliant.
Cuts it back. Flag goes up. Dowdy had just drifted behind the last line of defenders.
And you like that thought, but that run has to just be flat right across those 2 center backs.
Gooden hustles over, takes a tumble, and well done, draws a foul.
Yeah, little elbow, little shove in the back.
We did not see Gooden on Saturday night for Marian. Sophomore from Tri-West High School. Rueda. Tenorio will just hit a bit of a real estate ball. Teammate could not track it down. There's Hershey, knocks it forward. Keeper coming out. Collision between Boney and another Marian defender. That was Al, but again, that was deemed to be shoulder to shoulder, both players kind of on level footing, so nothing given there. And that will be a corner coming. Last one was taken short by Mount Vernon Nazarene.
And that read usually is when you put 2 players out there and the defenders only send 1 player. There's a good 2v1. If you've got 2 technical players out there, that's a great opportunity just to go with the quick short ball.
Not going short this time. Everybody in the box. And Rueda didn't get it cleanly. Marian finds an escape hatch. That ball played sideways.
Yeah, love the aggressiveness coming off his line. When that ball squirted away right here and he saw it go back behind him, his heart stopped.
On the throw in again, overloading the 18, and Marian wisely just knock it 50 yards back. Let everybody get reset. Stolt now at midfield will. The ball by Boney. Good. And now Marian's got numbers. That bounce to the side will, to some degree, let Mount Vernon Nazarene off the hook. Nothing comes of what could have been potentially a put-away opportunity for the Knights.
That's a great turn. Got a defender draped all over your back. You feel where his weight is leaning. You turn it the other way.
Gooden got it with his head so Rueda could get there, and a second touch as well. So now let's update you. One game has gone final. This is a big result. Indiana Wesleyan led 2-0. Let's get back to action because Rueda did not handle it properly the first time. He does the second time. Now some of that ring rust from not having a chance to play this year starting to show up there, but Mount Vernon Nazarene can do nothing about it. So now we can bring you the scoreboard. Huntington was down 2-0, led Indiana Wesleyan 3-2. Wesleyan equalized. The Foresters found a fourth. So Indiana Wesleyan loses for the first time in league play. Huntington clinches a berth in the conference tournament, and that's who Marian will play on Saturday night up in Huntington. Other games on that screen are kind of going to form. Opportunity here for Mount Vernon Nazarene that, again, Marian will parry away, and corner kick coming.
Another great opportunity coming off of the play by Hershey. Long ball into Boney's chest. Hershey's again tucked underneath him, plays it right back to him. The kid creates great pace, great technical ability.
So now Ramirez finally welcomed on for Marian. Corner coming quickly. Westling on for the first time tonight. That is not a Marian player in the field of play, by the way. Service blocked by Hooker. And I don't think there was contact there. We had a Mount Vernon Nazarene player that again stumbled. And I don't think there was anybody by him that necessitated that contact. That was Max Schwalk that seemed worse for wear. Dante Cooper returns now from Mount Vernon Nazarene. Throw in coming. Ball flicked on. Great play by Boney, but just couldn't find a teammate. But absolutely the right play.
Great ball, and you had a run going front post, you had a run going back post. So it was the right play, and you had the right supporting runs to make something of it. Here, if you're the Knights, you need to grab a little bit of sustained possession, at least in the middle third for a while. Take a little bit of heat off the back line.
Throw in coming from Mount Vernon Nazarene. And that ball did not cross at the angle that they hoped it would. But Boney able to track it down.
Oh.
Hougens lays it off. Ball hit and just up and over the bar. Had Rueda sprawling for it, but just not on target from Mount Vernon Nazarene.
As much as Jolly was impacting the first half, it's Hershey here in the second half.
Hershey was that close to a brace. And he had 1 goal on the season coming in. Less than 8 to play. It's been a good one. By the way, in the women's match between these two, Marian enjoying a 2-1 lead in that one as well. With 5.5 minutes left to play, we'll keep you posted.
Yeah, in these moments, you got to just be looking for Hershey's feet. Everything's coming through him and to him.
Good interplay here. Ball never got to Rueda. Wessling will simply launch at the end of the park, and now here's a chance. If doubt, he can flick it in the right direction. Keeper's off his line. Race to the ball. Mount Vernon Nazarene will get there first.
It's one of those ones, that keeper's so big, you can lift it over him, but you got to go so high to get it over him, you can't put the distance on it.
Nathan Parker's, or excuse me, your name getting ready to come on here for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Kai May's going to be welcomed on in a matter of moments. First, Stolp will send this one towards the 18.
Good win.
And Rueda. Right idea, just couldn't find his teammate hanging by the midfield stripe.
Yeah, that's tough too. You're driving a ball up into a 1-on-4, and you got to kill off 6 minutes. So hold it a little bit, get your shape.
Ramirez, that's well done. Dowdy tries to cut it back, and Walters, potentially a game-saving play for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Brett, I asked you this question on Saturday night.
Uh-oh.
You spent 20, 25 years coaching at the Division III level.
Did I answer it correctly?
You answered it well, so I'm asking it again. What again are the differences you are seeing at this NAI level amongst these schools from the high level of soccer you coach for the last 2 decades plus?
It's amazing. I think the testament to the kind of player and the kind of athlete, the game just moves so quickly. The decisions are quick. The guys have the technical execution to be able to follow that quick pace. And the other part, too, is the tactics. The tactics change when the players change. And so you look at all of the different nationalities, all the different cultures, all the different styles that both of these coaches have had to blend into a cohesive unit. And when you watch both of these teams, there is a method to how they want to play. Testament to their IQ, testament to the tactics, and testament to the culture that both coaches have built.
At the edge of the 18, ball never got through. Couple of quick touches by Marian. Again, they will simply knock it backwards for safekeeping at this point. Good pressure here by the Knights. Looking for their 5th league win. And literally, if this result holds, the table has held true to form for Marian. Tenorio no, he was offside. Ball was in play, but he had just leaked behind that last line of defense. Before the restart, both sides have players they'd like to wave back in. Let's see if that is allowed to happen. DeJesus and Mays for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Luna amongst those that want to rejoin for Marian. Ball by Wessling.
Every ball that you can make them play negative. Uh-oh.
And now Stolp will hustle back and get there in time.
Everything you can keep in this half. That's another 5 seconds or so just to get it across midfield, so you're just killing time.
Tenorio, and that's going to be a foul. And we'll stop the clock, and there's going to be a card here. Let's see of what variety it is. I think they're going to go have a conversation with the opposite AR to say, hey, last offender. In other words, before I give a potential red, am I seeing the right thing?
Yeah, and it may even be a call, too. Was he offsides?
So the pull from the pocket will be for which card? Red. And again, that was simply a check. Last offender, yes. Red card goes up.
Yeah, at this point in the game, you got 3 minutes left. It's a tight game. Before you make a decision like that to remove a player, always a good idea to double check, make sure you saw the same thing.
Great job by our cameras to show you. He is onside, and that is the, you can scoff at the playoff lines, as some fans would call them. Soccer on a football turf, it does make it much easier
it does
for the AR to be able to decide, hey, was he onside? And yes, he was. And again, is it the most ferocious of tackles? No. But was it the last defender and a clear foul? Yes.
And if dropping down to 10 men doesn't move you a little closer to victory, you have the chance to put that icing on the cake here.
And Yusuf El Masusi, our referee, that was Aaron Rollins, the AR that he coordinated with. Tony DeLois, our other AR. The blast, and oh my goodness.
Oh my word.
The icing on that one for Marian. The Romeric Bergeron makes it 3-1 for the Knights.
Oh my word.
That is world class at any level. For the redshirt sophomore from Limoges, France. By the way, the guilty party in the red was Chucho Salgado. That was handed the red, which means he will have to sit for the season finale for Mount Vernon Nazarene.
What a strike. I think they had the wall misset, or the goalkeeper was behind the wall.
That simply may have moved so fast, he might not have seen it. Yeah. Regardless.
They were both covering the same post, and credit to Marian for recognizing, hey, and you know, take nothing away from that strike.
So there will be a keeper change. I don't think that's anything that was of a penalizing nature to Stolp. Nate Hutzel is the backup. He's a young man from Plymouth, Indiana. Maybe it's going to be a chance to get him some action in front of family and friends tonight. Bit of a jersey tug foul called against Marian. By the way, the Marian women win at Mount Vernon Nazarene tonight. Big result for Coach Sullivan's squad, because Mount Vernon Naz has always given Marian fits on the women's side. It's a 2-1 win for the Knights on the road. Good looking ball here. Hershey will track it down. Clearance by the Knights.
Yeah, no reason to put yourself in any kind of jeopardy. Keep the ball moving. Keep knocking it up the field.
This result holds. Marian would move into a tie for third in the league standings. They and Indiana Wesleyan both on 15 points after IWU's first league loss tonight. However, Indiana Wesleyan won that matchup in the first match day of the league season. So Indiana Wesleyan will still own the tiebreaker against Marian in terms of the 3-4 seed.
Good double. Little high side pressure.
And that's going to be foul against Mount Vernon Nazarene. A little frustration release for Keon Boney. And frankly, That's good for Youssef to frankly allow him to have it. Let him kind of breathe for a little bit. And Mount Vernon Nazarene, a win on the final day guarantees their league tournament spot. That'll be a foul. A little frustration there. And we'll stop the clock, and actually no, the clock now will be wound since it's more of a benefit to Marian that way. And cards shown to the guilty party from Mount Vernon Nazarene.
I hear you. Just take your time. Serve a ball up or even knock a ball over the line. Keep yourself out of any kind of jeopardy.
Save made.
Not exactly sure what the thought was there.
That ball was probably handled outside of the 18-yard box, but 2-goal lead with 12 seconds to play. We'll kind of let that go.
Almost looked like he was taking off on a fast break.
You hear the voice of Mark Erdosi in the background, counting it down for Marian. As Marian, again, further cements their spot in terms of the proper half of the standings. The win for Marian. And again, they still are in a position where they potentially have to win on Saturday to ensure a top 4 seed. But for James Jenkins' crew, an 11th win in 16 matches played in this his inaugural season as the head coach at Marian University. Brad, your final thoughts on this one?
Well, I tell you, I don't want to get too philosophical on you, but that's one of the crazy things about this game in life is that it just hangs on little moments and little decisions in those moments. Game's 2-1, Marian's favor. Hershey's at the top of the box with a clean look at the goal. If he drops that ball a foot lower into the net and it's 2-2 at that point, everything changes. Now they walk away with a 3-1 loss.
Kind of the unique nature of senior night. All 3 goal scorers come off the bench in tonight's game for Marian. Romeric Berneron, as well as Sebastian Gonzalez, his team high 9th, and Evan Dowdy with his 3rd of the season. Again, if Marian is hosting a conference tournament matchup next Saturday, we will have it for you on the ISC Sports Network. For Brad Hutter and our entire ISC Sports Network crew, this is Greg Regstrom. Good night from Indianapolis, and a good night to be a night. Thanks for joining us on ISC.
Remember, fans, you can get all of the up-to-date information on Knights Athletics, tickets,
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.